Right now, two winter storms are lining up to hit the United States back to back, and if you live anywhere from Nebraska to New England, you need to hear this before the weekend. Here is what is happening. A massive Arctic high-pressure system is about to collide with moisture streaming in from the Pacific. That combination is going to create a monster. We are talking about a storm that could drop 6 to 12 plus inches of snow across a huge stretch of the country, freezing rain, sleet, ice accumulation, and temperatures crashing 40 to 50 degrees in some areas within 24 hours. Oklahoma City could be sitting at 81 degrees while Iowa is stuck in the 20s. Same day, same country. Let that sink in. Now, if you are watching this and you are not sure how your city is going to be affected, drop your location in the comments right now. I am going to be responding with specific forecasts for as many of you as I can. Seriously, type it in. I want to make sure you have the information you need before this thing hits. And here is what I promise you. Stay with me through this video, and by minute 5, I am going to break down the exact hour-by-hour timeline for when this storm reaches your region, when it peaks, and when it finally moves out. That is the part you do not want to miss. But first, let me walk you through what is already happening right now across the country and why this setup is so dangerous. As we speak, an Alberta Clipper is pushing through the Great Lakes and into the Northeast. Cities like Buffalo, Syracuse, Albany, and Hartford are seeing light to moderate snowfall. Half an inch to an inch per hour. Nothing catastrophic. But here is the thing, this is just the appetizer. Behind this Clipper, a second disturbance is organizing across the Ohio Valley for Thursday. Columbus, Pittsburgh, Charleston, and West Virginia, even Washington, D.C. and Baltimore could see light snow Thursday afternoon into Friday morning. The severe weather risk that was on the table for the Southeast has actually downtrended. So places like Atlanta, Charlotte, and Nashville, you are mostly looking at clouds and some rain. Not a big deal, but do not get comfortable. Because what is coming this weekend is a completely different animal. Here is the timeline everybody needs to pay attention to. Saturday night, March 1st, that massive Arctic high-pressure system starts building over the northern plains. Cities like Bismarck, Fargo, Minneapolis, and Sioux Falls, you are going to feel that cold air first. Temperatures dropping into the single digits and teens. This high pressure is the engine that drives everything that comes next. Sunday morning, March 2nd, moisture starts surging north from the Gulf and colliding with that Arctic air. The first snow begins falling across Nebraska. Lincoln and Omaha, you are looking at snow starting around sunrise Sunday. By Sunday afternoon, this thing explodes. A massive band of heavy snow stretches from Omaha through Des Moines into Chicago, Indianapolis, and Columbus. We are talking 1 to 2 inches per hour snowfall rates in the heaviest bands. And here is what nobody is talking about. Right in the middle of this storm, there is a dangerous ice zone. Kansas City, St. Louis, Springfield, Illinois, Evansville, Indiana, and Cincinnati, you could see a brutal mix of freezing rain and sleet. Even a quarter inch of ice accumulation can snap tree branches and knock out power for days. That is the sneaky threat inside the storm that people overlook. Sunday night into Monday morning is when the storm reaches peak intensity for the Midwest and Ohio Valley. Detroit, Cleveland, Toledo, Akron, you are in the bullseye for heavy snow Sunday night. 6 to 10 inches is very much on the table. South of that line, Lexington and Louisville in Kentucky, southern Ohio, and southern Indiana, you are dealing with that freezing rain and sleet mix. Dangerous driving, dangerous for power lines, just dangerous. Now here comes the part I promised you. The exact timing for the East Coast. Monday morning, March 3rd, this storm barrels into the Northeast. And folks, the Northeast has already been hammered this winter. You know it, I know it. And here comes another one. Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. Snow starts Monday morning early, probably around 4 or 5 in the morning. Heavy snow by mid-morning. Washington, D.C. and Baltimore, you are looking at snow beginning around 6 or 7 in the morning Monday. Could mix with sleet initially, but transitions to moderate to heavy snow by noon. The models are showing 3 to 6 inches minimum for the D.C. metro area, and some runs are pushing 8 inches. New York City, snow arrives Monday late morning around 10 or 11. Heavy snow by early afternoon. The GFS model is showing 8 to 12 inches for the city. The European model is a bit more conservative at 3 to 6, but either way, this is a significant event. Plan accordingly. Boston, Providence, Hartford, the snow reaches you Monday afternoon into the evening. Southern New England could see 6 to 10 inches before this wraps up Tuesday morning, and do not forget about the mid-Atlantic ice threat. Western Maryland, the Panhandle of West Virginia, Northern Virginia, the Shenandoah Valley, You are in that freezing rain and ice zone. The cold air gets trapped east of the Appalachian Mountains in what meteorologists call cold air damming. That means even as warm air pushes in above you, the surface stays below freezing. Rain falls through that warm layer and freezes on contact with the ground. That is how you get dangerous ice storms. Now, for the rest of the country, let me run through this quickly because a lot of you are wondering where you stand. The Pacific Northwest, Seattle, Portland, you have an atmospheric river event bringing heavy rain and mountain snow right now. Not connected to the weekend storm, but still impactful. The Rockies, Denver, Colorado Springs, Salt Lake City, Boise, you are looking at a relatively quiet stretch heading into the weekend. But watch next week because a new trough is developing that could bring significant snow to the high country. The Southern Plains, Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, Oklahoma City, you are on the warm side of this storm. Oklahoma City could hit 81 degrees Sunday, while the northern half of the country is getting buried. Austin and San Antonio, mid to upper 70s. Some areas of deep South Texas pushing into the mid-90s. Just wild. The Southeast, Jacksonville, Tampa, Miami, Savannah, Charleston, South Carolina, you are mostly clear for the weekend. But here is your heads up. As we push into the first and second week of March, the pattern is shifting. That trough over the Rockies is going to start feeding severe weather into the Great Plains and Southeast. Tornadoes, large hail, damaging winds. March is looking very active for severe storms. That is something to start watching now. The upper Midwest and Great Lakes, Green Bay, Milwaukee, Grand Rapids, Marquette, you are going to see lake-effect snow bands continuing through the week on top of whatever the main storm delivers. Some spots near the eastern upper peninsula of Michigan have been getting buried by lake effect all winter, and that is not stopping. Now let me give you the big picture here because this is not just one storm. Behind this weekend system, the GFS model is already showing another winter storm forming by Tuesday into Wednesday of next week. That is potentially a second major storm hitting the Northeast before the first one even fully clears out. The European model sees it too. So if you live anywhere from the Ohio Valley to New England, you need to think of this as a multi-day, possibly multi-storm event from Sunday all the way through Wednesday. And then here is the twist. After all of that winter chaos, the Climate Prediction Center is calling for a massive warm-up in the 8 to 14-day range. We are talking March 4th through the 10th. The entire lower 48 could flip to above average temperatures. Alaska goes cold. The rest of the country warms up. That is typically how it works. When Alaska freezes, the lower 48 thaws. So what does that mean? It means the last week of true winter weather could be right now. This weekend into early next week might be the final big push of Arctic air and heavy snow before spring starts to take over. But that warm-up also means severe weather season kicks into high gear across the plains and the southeast. So here is what you need to do right now. If you are in the snow zone from Nebraska to New England, make sure your vehicles are fueled up, your phones are charged, and you have supplies for 2 to 3 days of potential disruptions. If you are in the ice zone from Kansas City through West Virginia and the Central Appalachians, that ice is the most dangerous part of this entire setup. Take it seriously. And one more thing before I let you go. For those of you in the transition zone, places like St. Louis, Louisville, Cincinnati, Roanoke, even parts of Philadelphia, you might start with rain, switch to freezing rain, then flip to all snow. That is 3 different types of precipitation in one storm. Those are the hardest events to forecast and the most dangerous to drive in. If you are in that zone, just stay home Monday if you can. Drop your city in the comments right now. I will get back to you with what to expect in your specific area. And do not skip the next video because we are going to have updated models, tighter snowfall totals, and the latest on that second storm that is already forming right behind this one. The forecast is changing fast, and you are going to want to stay ahead.